In this video, let us have a step-by-step overview of creating a configuration role using Project IMG. Okay, so the first step that you need to do is to have Project IMG created by the functional teams, okay, who is responsible for configuring the SAP system. They'll create a Project IMG for for performing and configuring the system. Okay, so the first step that we should do, or we should have, is to have a Project IMG, and if you don't have one, then somebody from the functional side needs to create one for you, okay, in order to use this concept of creating a configuration role using the Project IMG. So the transaction code for creating the Project IMG is project_admin. Okay, so the first somebody is going to go and create a project for you for this configuring the system. And let's say I give a project name called first project. So continue, and they fill up whatever details they want about the project, who are the project members, the documentation types, the transports. Okay, so various information they'll fill, and then here in the scope tab they're going to specify what nodes are they going to use for configuring the system, what modules are they going to configure, right? So let's say okay, and click on save, and in the scope tab, and you have to specify the scope of the project, okay, wherein you basically select the nodes that you're going to, the modules that you're going to implement. Okay, so let's say you have controlling, you have sales and distribution, materials management. So based on what the project activities are, what they are implementing, what is being implemented, they will select the nodes. Okay, now you will need this to restrict access to the configuration data according to modules. Okay, so if you want only materials management people to get access to the materials management node instead of the entire SPRO, you can, using this Project IMG, you can do that. Okay, so for example, let's say I select materials management, okay, and continue, and let's verify that. So material management is selected, right. After you have selected the node, what they do is they'll fill up the remaining information, like I said, in all the tabs for the project, okay, and then they're going to generate this. So generate in background, and you can actually go and see in SM37. Execute. There is a project, right? Now activate project. This is the one that we are going to use. This is a job that is running, which is now complete. So let's say you have now you have a project, okay, that you could use. So as a security administrator, to build this IMG based configuration role, go to PFCG and just say create a role. What you give that role name, and then let's say okay, save it, and when you go to the menu tab, go to more, utilities, customizing auth, click on that. You don't have anything assigned yet, click on add and click on Project IMG, continue, and depending on how many projects you have created, IMG projects you have created, you will get that list. So select the one that you want to create the role, okay, for, and click on continue. Okay, now if you want to add more projects into your list, you can, and let's say continue. Now once that is done, if you observe, you can now no longer add new transaction codes into the role. Okay, now sometimes what happens is in some of these nodes will also bring in, let's say, transaction codes like SU01. Let's see if this one did. Okay, so it did, right? It's one hit found. So from an audit standpoint or criticality standpoint, you can search for the transaction codes that you think are critical and should not be assigned or given authorizations to. You can search and then delete them from the list. Okay, SM59 is also critical, you don't give it to them. SM30 is needed, okay, because this is an then you don't want SE11 to be given to them. And let's say you don't want bodies, SE19. Subscript is fine. So let's say now you go back and let's say go up and search for let's say PFCG. So you have PFCG, right? One hit found. So let's say where that is. So you have PFCG here. So you can select the ones, you can delete the ones that you don't want to give access to. Okay. So this is a little bit manual process that you have to go through, and as a security administrator, to ensure that the user does not get access to critical transaction codes. Okay, and once this is done, go to authorizations. Once you have deleted whatever you want to delete from the list, you can go and maintain the authorizations. And another first point you need to note is you can no longer add transaction codes to this role. Okay, you can delete them, but you cannot add them. Okay, click on save and then go and change authorizations. Now you maintain the authorizations. So based on what you want this to be, you can maintain the authorizations. And if you want to make it as a display, you can basically search for activity, field activity, and then ACtivity, and then you can do a mass maintenance. Okay, so as display only, so 03. So wherever you have the activity field, if you want to make it display only, you can go and change. Okay, you can do en mass changes also, mass changes also. Okay, generate the role, and now you can assign this to the users who need this to configure MM module. Okay, So this is how you build um, the IM project IMG configuration role.